Alright, we're here at the etnow.in Business Conclave and Awards 2026, and we're joined by the chairman of the Rathnam Group of Institutions and IT Park, Mr. Madan A Sendhil. Let me start by congratulating you. First of all, congratulations on winning such a prestigious award. I'm sure you're feeling exhilarated, but in your words, how do you feel, sir?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks to you and the team of etnow to have selected Rathnam Institutions and Rathnam Tech Park for this prestigious award, and we are really honored, and we seriously feel it's a good recognition, for specific recognition for the unique ecosystem which we have built. Thank you, and the event is great, and all the awardees who have been selected has been gone through in a very meticulous manner, and I'm glad that I'm here today.
So, let me start by asking you a little about your journey. How has it evolved over the years, and how would you define your journey with such a prestigious institution?
Yeah. Okay. So just before coming back to India, after my engineering, I went for masters in the US. I did my masters in University of Central Florida, Orlando. Then I was working for Motorola. Then for a short stint with some Fiserv image processing company, and then I joined a company in Corning Mellon campus. The company name is called TimeSys. It's an embedded Linux company, and I am an OS operating systems PhD. So I joined this embedded Linux company, and I came back to India to start Indian operations for that company. So my last stint in 2001 in the US was in Corning Mellon campus, and the Corning Mellon campus created a huge impact in me. The way they have organized the ecosystem in terms of incubation, academic research, the industrial park, and the employment, internship on all this ecosystem. The Pittsburgh town, you will not find out which is Pittsburgh town and which is Corning Mellon University. So it will be beautifully integrated in terms of living, the innovation, industrial ecosystem, education, everything will be beautifully blended. That left a very, and the TimeSys is a company born out of Corning Mellon professors' research. And that's a company where I started working as well. So I was fascinated with this ecosystem where professors create research, and that becomes an idea, that becomes a company, that goes into a tech park, and this ecosystem was great. So my vision was to start something like that, a small micro township in India with innovation as a central core, and bringing institutions, tech park, innovation center, and all that into one small micro township and make them work together. And that was the idea, and that's how this Rathnam campus, Rathnam Tech Zone campus, which is located within Coimbatore city. It's in Coimbatore Corporation now, and it's about 70-acre campus. We have put together all these same elements: incubation center, IT park, institutions, and then the Atal Incubation Center is there. All these things together make a unique ecosystem, which was from the inspiration of Corning Mellon University in the US. That's where it started, and now we have crossed major bridges, and we have 10,000 plus students. We are NAC A++ graded institution. We are around the corner to become a university, and the tech park has about already 500,000 square feet with 8,000 employees in there. The incubation center has 75 startups, and all these things have started working together. Students becoming incubatees, and students started working in the final year as interns in the companies, and all these things have started working. Faculty, we are drawing faculty from the industry into the institution. On all these aspects, we have started working together. So it has, I mean, the dream, it's basically a dream come true for me in Coimbatore.
That is brilliant, and it's very rightly said that the start for any establishment is always the idea, and that's a very you've rightly put it across. We spoke about your journey. Now we'll bring it to your vision for this group. Your vision, or I would say this, if I may put it, the unique strength that this group holds, and how do you plan on taking it forward?
Yeah, we want to evolve to be one of the best universities in the world. Universities focused on innovation, incubation, and technology education, and the student ecosystem, which is very unique, should be put across, and it's a need of the hour for India. We really have to deliver skilling to the students, And we really have to make our students innovative and product creators, which is what is missing in the Indian industrial ecosystem. So we really want to work harder, stronger, deeper into that in that requirement for what is there for India today, and we want to be a pioneer, and we want to be one of the best in the world to provide, just like in Israel and all that, where few universities really becomes the transforming element of the entire region itself, because that's where the innovation really starts. The fundamental research cannot happen anywhere else other than an institution. So we want to be very strong in research, we want to be very strong in innovation, and we want to be very strong in education as well, and we want to be one of the best in the world.
So you spoke about skills in research. It's a very competitive market out there. So how does this group ensure that they have an edge above other institutions, one, and how do you ensure that your students are well prepared, because the industry is constantly evolving, there are constantly new demands coming up. How do you ensure that students are well equipped with those demands?
Well, actually speaking, the competition in Indian institutions, across Indian institutions, is only in terms of the capabilities. If you look at government's requirement and the problem statements put across by different departments like DST, DBT and all the different agencies in the government, they are presenting tons and tons of opportunities. In fact, there is no dearth of opportunities for Indian institutions or Indian researchers. It's the ability of our people to think differently, and ability of our people to crack the real problem is where the challenge is. So we are picking up that particular aspect. We are trying to imbibe that ability to think differentially, crack fundamental problems. It's not about grazing the grass on the top. We want to get our students, faculty to get deep into every single problem and go into fundamental research or fundamental problem solving methodologies, what the government of India and in the industry today requires.
Absolutely.
So,
I think it's one of the most fundamental things that are required, because otherwise knowledge, once it's not executed properly, it doesn't solve the purpose. Moving on to my next question, you are the chairman of the group. What, according to you, what role does practical learning, internships, exposure, all these experiences, what role does this play when it comes to the growth of a group or the growth of your students?
Okay, well, it's everything actually. I mean, whatever you're saying, internship, industrial training or skilling, all these aspects is what is going to become education itself in future. The classroom learning, where your knowledge is delivered from the board to the children, is going to die in our vision actually. Basically, no teacher can deliver better than ChatGPT today. No teacher can deliver better than your online contents. There are fantastic contents for every topic you take. So as time goes, the relevance of classroom teaching will go away, and teaching itself will be about challenging the student, making him work on problems, and making him go to industry and work on internships, and giving them specific skills with which he can learn using the public domain content. These are the things which itself will become the education, and in Rathnam we have taken that up and we have introduced fantastic programs like Raleigh will be our ecosystem, CAT, MAT. The CAT is a competency track, and MAT is basically a main academic track. So half the time a student in Rathnam will be on competency acceleration track. The main academic track where his curriculum will be only remaining of the time. So we have done phenomenal changes in the education ecosystem, which will exactly deliver what the problem statement I am telling. I mean, the relevance of classroom will be dying. The relevance of whatever you asked is what is education itself.
Yeah. And when students come up with doubts like, we want to get into the line of entrepreneurship, or let's say student driven learning, what's your approach when these sort of things pop up in your day-to-day lives?
Well, our approach is, it's basically the ecosystem which will basically make the student do that. If he has to innovate, he looks at his senior of what they have done. he looks at the ecosystem, nearby people. We have an incubation center. He goes and sees what are the new ideas, new startups which has come up. He goes into different labs, sees what his seniors are working on. This is how his ideas start. So the focus to get such ideas for the student is to create the ecosystem. So we are specifically working on the ecosystem. That ecosystem is what we have named as RWALE.
Yeah.
RWALE. So that's the ecosystem involving Center of Excellences, Incubation Center, Skilling Centers, and all this together is what is the platform called RWALE, which we have built in the Rathnam campus. And that will exactly deliver the ecosystem which will bring innovation into his mind.
Yeah, ecosystem I think is one of the most important things, because that's what shapes our thinking, it shapes our everyday day-to-day lives. I think holds a lot of importance in our lives. Now moving on to my final question, I think the most important step which sort of becomes the deciding factor between our education and then choosing our career is choosing the right institution, because that shapes us. As you said, the ecosystem is what shapes us. So what's your advice to the listeners when it comes to choosing that right institution?
Well, first of all, they need to look at the course what they want to take. And right now I am technically against, personally I'm technically, although Rathnam itself does a lot of computer science and AI and all that. I mean, everywhere it's all about AI and computer science, which is what is going on across. But yes, that is required, and there's tons of demand which is going to come across. But probably people have to apply mind first on what kind of courses what they want to take. A person with a biological mind, if he goes into AI, I mean, AI application in biology also is going to be there. That's a different point. But hardcore AI may not be a choice for the person with a biological mind. So from his marks in his 12th or from his career marks, he has to identify what are his strengths. My son is in 10th standard. So basically, I guide him to find out what is his strength. First, we have to identify the course. And in that course, which particular institution has the strength, fits the best is the first criteria. Then he can get about 10-15 institutions where there are best faculties in that particular area. If you are talking about biotechnology, they can look at publications, patents, from which institutions patents and publications are coming in his area, biotechnology. Then he can look at the institution's ranking in terms of NIRF. He can look at the, in counseling, what level this institution comes. In that, based on his course, he can choose 2-3 of them. He can go visit them, go listen to what programs the institutions are offering, and there will be a good presentation in each one of the institution, and he can come up with the conclusion of one institution in there. And in this, probably the least of the botheration has to be, least of the focus probably has to change from herd mentality of all their peers are choosing one, I should also choose the same thing. That's something which I think I will advise the students to avoid, because to pick up something different is what is going to make them successful in future.
True. I think that's a realization that hits us pretty late in our lives, but
that's probably not a good idea. But
but you've put it out beautifully for our viewers, and I'm sure that this insightful conversation will extremely be beneficial for them. So thank you so much for joining us. It was a beautiful conversation, and congratulations on your award.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you, and
likewise.
Thanks to ET Now for this event. Thank you.